Hey everyone, welcome to The Wildlife, a documentary series about the animals we share our planet with. I'm your host, Kevin, and today we're going to be talking about our first audience-selected species, Canis lupus, the gray wolf. I should warn you, full disclosure, that at the time of this filming, I have almost 10 years of experience working hands-on with a captive pack of gray wolves, and a coyote, New Guinea singing dogs, and dingoes at the animal park at the Conservator Center in Burlington, North Carolina, and have trained at Wolf Park in Battleground, Indiana. I've also attended numerous talks and workshops across the country, focused on wolves, so this is my particular area of expertise, and I could talk about this species for months and never get tired. So with that in mind, there's a special, super in-depth extra episode for Patreon supporters and Stackpole members all about gray wolves for everything that I wrote about in my research for this episode that I couldn't fit in here. Be sure to check it out. Okay, let's dive in. Gray wolves are Animalia cordata, Mammalia carnivora, Canidae Canis lupus, or just Canis lupus for short. They are the largest, most gregarious extant species in the genus Canis, and they were once the most wide-ranging wild terrestrial animals in the northern hemisphere. But today, Canis lupus inhabits less than 2/3 of its historic range. Canis lupus is at once one of the most fascinating and arresting creatures representing the wild known to all of human culture and civilization, and one of the most controversial animals humans have ever encountered. This species likes and can find a home in forest, shrubland, grassland, inland wetlands, inland cliffs, mountain peaks, and even desert regions. Topping out at around 3,000 meters elevation above mean sea level, Canis lupus can survive throughout a wide range of habitat zones across its geographic range, making it extremely adaptable to conditions it may face across the globe. Today, gray wolves are found on nearly every continent and landmass except for South America, Australia, Antarctica, Japan, and other small islands in the Pacific. Countries with gray wolves as officially listed by the IUCN include Afghanistan, Albania, Armenia, Austria, Azerbaijan, maybe Bangladesh, Belarus, Belgium, Bhutan, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Burma, Canada, China, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Greenland, Hungary, India, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Italy, Jordan, Kazakhstan, North Korea, South Korea, Kyrgyzstan, Latvia, Libya, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Mexico, Moldova, Mongolia, Montenegro, Nepal, the Netherlands, Macedonia, Norway, Oman, Pakistan, Palestine, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Syria, Tibet, Tajikistan, Turkey, Turkmenistan, the Ukraine, the United Arab Emirates, the United States, Uzbekistan, and Yemen. Note that Burma, Palestine, and Tibet are not actually listed by the IUCN as such due to political pressure. So, where did gray wolves come from? Good question. To truly discuss the origin of wolves, we have to go back some 40 million years to the late Eocene, where canids' earliest ancestor, Prohesperocyon, evolved as the first unambiguous canid in or around what is today southwestern Texas, North America. It's accurate to say that all canids, and thus all canines, emerged from North America and spread throughout the world from there. But I digress. Sporting characteristics which marked it as being a true canid, Prohesperocyon had an inflated bony bulla covering the ear region and subtle dental features, such as the loss of the upper third molars. Hesperocyon, the immediate descendant of Prohesperocyon, as the name clearly suggests, were found in what is today the northern Great Plains and Canada, and their fossils were more abundant than Prohesperocyon. Hesperocyon indicates many evolutionary adaptations, however, and it may be the move towards more cursorial, remember that word, hands and feet, that may have been the key success to canids in more open environments later in their evolution. Hesperocyon gave rise to all three subfamilies of canidae: Hesperocyoninae, Borophaginae, and Caninae. Most of the Oleocene and the Miocene eras were dominated by the Hesperocyoninae and the Borophaginae, who diversified early on. It wasn't until the late Miocene that Caninae really took off and diversified, taking advantage of the large, open grasslands thanks to its more resilient posture and running ability. It was these large, open grasslands in North America in the late Miocene, around 5.3 million years ago, that seem to have set upon the world, in addition to the diversification of canids, the dispersal of canids. This is the period when, through competition with large felids, canids emigrated to Europe. Because Caninae had lost its functional thumb and big toe, it had become a stronger, more cursorial predator, able to spend more time in pursuit of its prey with greater endurance than its contemporaries from Hesperocyoninae and Borophaginae. When Musiani of subfamily Caninae made it to Eurasia in the late Miocene, it set events into motion for canines to dominate the globe. So, what then are modern gray wolves, Canis lupus, related to? Well, I'm glad you asked. For starters, gray wolves, Canis lupus, are the progenitors of all domestic dogs, Canis lupus familiaris, and as such are their closest living wild counterpart. From the Great Dane to the Chihuahua, all domestic dogs are, in fact, a subspecies of Canis lupus, the 15th unmentioned subspecies. Next, Canis lupus is also related to all other members of the family Canidae, including other members of the genus, like red wolves, Canis rufus, Ethiopian wolves, Canis simensis, coyotes, Canis latrans, jackals, Canis aureus, mesomelus, and augustus, New Guinea singing dogs, Canis halstroni, and dingoes, Canis dingo. And finally, Canis lupus is also related to the other genus within the family Canidae, like Vulpes, Lycaon, Kuon, Chirocyon, Spithos, Lycalopex, Eurocyon, Dusicyon, Nycteructes, and Otocyon. In total, there are currently 14 recognized subspecies of gray wolf across the globe. In North America, there is some disagreement over the number and classification of subspecies of Canis lupus. Some suggest as many as 24 subspecies of gray wolf, while others count only 4 or 5. Most modern field researchers recognize 5 subspecies: the Arctic wolf, Canis lupus arctos, the northwestern wolf, Canis lupus occidentalis, the Great Plains wolf, Canis lupus nubilis, the Mexican wolf, Canis lupus bailey, and the eastern timber wolf, Canis lupus lycaon. It is the last of these, Canis lupus lycaon, which is currently hotly debated, with some researchers and advocates suggesting that it is, in fact, its own species, Canis lycaon. In Eurasia, things are a bit simpler, with 8 largely undisputed subspecies covering the 2 continents: the Eurasian Arctic wolf, Canis lupus albus, the Russian wolf, Canis lupus communis, the Italian wolf, Canis lupus italicus, the Eurasian wolf, Canis lupus lupus, the Indian wolf, or desert wolf, Canis lupus palipes, the Iberian wolf, Canis lupus signatus, the Arabian wolf, Canis lupus arabs, and the Caspian sea wolf, Canis lupus cubanensis. Africa supports only one member of Canis lupus, the recently rediscovered Canis lupus lupaster, formerly Canis aureus lupaster. Previously believed to be a subspecies of golden jackal, it was discovered through mitochondrial analysis in 2011 that the species is, in fact, a type of gray wolf. However, the IUCN currently lists Canis lupus lupaster simply as Canis lupaster, implying it is a distinct species of wolf, though closely related to the gray wolf. So let's dig into the African wolf in another episode. Anyway, to be perfectly honest, even these counts are controversial, as the IUCN only recognizes Signatus and Italicus in Europe, Palapis and Arabs in Asia, with the caveat that Canis lupus chanco may be a distinct subspecies unique to the Himalayan mountains, and Arctos, Lycaon, Nubilis, Occidentalis, and Bailey in North America, making the IUCN's official number of subspecies 9 or 10, a full 5 short of what researchers suggest. As a social predator, Canis lupus is a cursorial hunter, meaning that it chases its prey instead of stalking and ambushing prey. Gray wolves pursue their prey until exhaustion, at which point they then close in for disabling attacks, typically to locomotive mechanics, before making a kill. According to wolf researcher and one of the foremost authorities on gray wolves in the world, David Mech, wolves first attack the rump of larger prey, but the head, shoulders, flanks, or rump of deer. Hamstringing has not been documented with wild prey. Now, while they are storied to purposefully attack the old, sick, weak, or young, in reality, those are the animals in a herd who slow down first and separate from the herd by lagging behind, essentially making themselves targets. The wolves don't set out at the beginning of the hunt chase by targeting those individuals. Again, according to David Mech, most analysis of wolf predation on wild species have shown that young, old, or otherwise inferior members of prey populations constitute most of the animals killed by wolves. That's it for part 1 of Canis lupus, the gray wolf. Be sure to check out part 2 to catch the rest of this essential apex predator's story. Check out the references in the description and some suggested reading for those of you hungry to learn more. Articles from JSTOR can be accessed through your local library, so make sure you've got your membership card. I've also shared some links to gray wolf conservation efforts and research programs if you're interested in ways to support these essential apex predators in the wild and grow our understanding of their roles in the ecosystem. If you liked this and other episodes of The Wildlife, please consider supporting the show through Patreon or Stackpole. An episode like this one costs almost $400 to produce, and every bit of your support helps bring new content to the audience of explorers and learners. Please share with your friends and family, teachers and professors. Let's build a community together. Until next time, stay wild.